What's up guys, it's Cher talking, welcome back to my channel. On today's video I bring you news for months in SaGa UniverSe. They just announced a new banner called Romancing Festival Merlot-Syrah. We have 3 new styles and we already have all the information about them. And let's discuss them on Reddit. As always, in a post by Hans43, thank you so much for doing this amazing job. And Merlot-Syrah got some buffs, but Virgil as well. And I believe Fox got the short end of the stick because there was barely any changes. Well, the first one is Merlot-Syrah. They buffed her endurance. Yes, because it was terrible. Just 63. Now it's 80%, 84% wheel. That's just average value for current standards. In STR could be much better. It's just 117%. And we have 100% agility. Yeah, they like to have high agility. Well, this character has a very complicated passive. First, 30% damage increase, and then 30% damage reduction. That's the simplest thing. But then, on start, we get 12 BP. On turn begins, you get this 50% heat up, and this triggers 2 times for 100% damage increase already on turn 2. And then we have 2 stacks of defense up that gives 15% and then 15% damage reduction. So we have 30 already and then 2 stacks of 15%. Also, multiply of 3 turns beginning on turn 3, you get this offensive spirit that when you attack, you get attack boost of medium effect, 2 turns, and that has only 50% chance to trigger, but it's for all allies. And then, 1 time in battle. So this is a passive that will stay with the character, but only on turn 3. And then on turn 6 and beyond, it gets a new passive called Healing Propagation, that when you attack, you have a 37% chance to heal the party by very small effect. That would be around 250. And we also have 1 BP by the end of turn. So, very complicated, right? Just understand that the character gets this new passive on turn 3, and then another new passive on turn 6. The first passive is offensive, the second passive is defensive. Then when being attacked, you have this evasion for 1 time on turn, so the second hit will be evaded. Much like what you do with Aslana Malek, but in her case, it's damage block. In this case, it's evasion, but only 1 hit. And this triggers every turn. And then, when you attack, you have a chase with just E-Power, that is Slash and Lightning, and grant yourself an attack boost of small effect, just for that particular turn. And there is a chance to debuff the enemy's endurance, and I believe that is just 10%. Yes. So, this attack has 2 chases. Yeah, it will trigger 2 times. 2 times E-Power, it's very similar to what you will get with an S or sometimes SS powered attack. Oh, we're having rainings and thunderstorm here in Brazil. Especially Merlot-Syrah. So, it's interesting that you have 2 hits on your chase, but the character gets BP by the end of turn, not by attacking. That's strange. Then skill number 1 is a 2-hit attack with E-Power, as you can see. And it has piercing lightning damage, just like always. Costs just 2 BP, so you can use this whenever you want. But usually when you don't have enough BP for something better. The second skill is a 12 BP skill that you can use on start. It's fast, and before attacking, grants yourself passive number 2 for 1 turn and then attack. So, okay. What does that mean? It means that you will be able to solo grind stages with just 1 enemy that are weak to Slash and Lightning. Because you will have this E-Power attack, and then 2 hits of E-Power, and then again 2 hits of E-Power. So what you will get will be a double evasion. So you will evade 2 hits, and after you attack with this E-Power attack, you follow up 2 times with this skill that has double hit with E-Power. And it tries to debuff the enemy endurance by 10%. You could debuff the enemy endurance by 40%, but then look on the intelligence of Merlot-Syrah. It's not gonna happen on boss fights. But when you are grinding, opening with E-Power and 4 hits of E-Power, it's like much stronger than 4S damage. She can easily grind stages. And you can even just give this skill to the first version of Merlot-Syrah to make it capable of soloing stages with just 1 enemy. Yes, that's very interesting because what you'll be doing is just E-Power and then double hits with E-Power, and that will still probably be more than enough. And you are on boss fights, you will probably just be using this style anyway. But now, the third skill is very interesting. It's a support that costs 12 and grants self this passive where you have minus 10 BP usage for all of your skills. And will also give you attack boost, 15% on rank 1 and 20% on max rank. So, that's interesting because after you use this skill, it's like 1 turn preparation for 4 turns where you'll be using skill number 2 to evade 2 times and attack with A power and then 4 follow-ups with E power. You would say that this character is similar to Old Leon. Imagine that Old Leon had a triple S opener and then 4 bullets of the power, sometimes 5 bullets, depending if you wanted to stay on 1 LP. But she only takes 1 turn to prepare, while Leon had to prepare for 4 or 5 turns. So, it is an interesting setup. It does have double elements, and it still even has evasion, and it can even give part utility after turn 3 and then turn 6. So the character is strong. There's just a little more competition for Slash, especially because Kihachi current style has a skill that's Slash and Lightning, and she chases on Overdrive, and the next version of Kihachi will still be Slash and Lightning. But since this style also gives a new way to grind with the monster version of Merlot-Syrah, it's a very good investment, and this skill can also be used by the next version of Merlot-Syrah. There are at least 1 more style. So it is a safe investment if you like, and you can use this character for boss fights just fine, especially if you skip it Kihachi, and I do believe that overall it's a little easier to use than Arpina. I don't know which one is stronger, I will have to do some tests. But the problem here is just the competition versus Slash, not as much for Lightning, and the character even has other stuff to offer to the party. Very good character that deserves at least triple S grade in the tier list, but it's also easy to skip if you have Kihachi, and even if you got Arpina, for example. The next character will be Virgil, and we have here 100% Endurance and Will. Those are very good values for someone that's not really a tank. We have 95% agility, that's okay, and 120% intelligence. He's a special type of character that uses M-Arts, but the attacks are physical type. Now, he has a very complicated passive. On the start of a battle, he will grant Arts Prize. This is a new passive for everyone in the party, including himself. When you attack on combo, what is a combo? It's when 2 or more characters participate in an attack. Combos happen randomly, or they will happen on Overdrive if you trigger 2 Overdrives or more. These characters will grant themselves an attack boost, 10% damage increase for 2 turn stacks, and also a defense boost. This one is new on global, and it will decrease damage taken by either 20 or 25%. I don't know, because JP is 20 and global most of the time Medium is 25. They will also recover their self HP by around 1.2 thousand or more, and 1 BP. So this thing here says recovers on BP by 1. To all allies, it's because it's applied to all allies, the passive. So, the combo attack part, it's interesting because if you get to Overdrive a lot, like, he is a character that will allow you to get into Overdrive a lot, you will get a heal, and sometimes he can be your main healer, not all the time though. And this extra BP can also be used as a medium BP battery. Well, the defense boost helps, but it's not reliable. Now, moving on. When he attacks, he also recovers his own BP by 1. When he's attacking on combo, just to himself, he will activate Fireworks 2 times. That's a C-power attack that gives 1 BP to everyone in the party. By the end of a turn, he has a 50% chance to give 15 points of OD gauge to the party, himself. So that's not reliable, but it's good when it happens, and the extra effect on combos will be very nice because we want to give BP to the party. The second one, on turn begins, he buffs all of his status by 15%, then he also grants himself an attack boost. That increases damage potential by 20%, another defense boost that decreases damage taken by either 20 or 25. Like I said, it's different in global JP. This only lasts for 1 turn, so this is permanent, but it triggers every time. Then he has 20% damage increase at all times. This is his only damage increase passive aligned with the attack boost, so 40%. And when he is on overdrive or combo, he gets 30% damage increase. And if you are with 2 characters on overdrive, that will stack, so 60%. And then damage taken is reduced by 30%. You can see that his damage is better on overdrive, but he's not really a damage dealer. To chase with fireworks being C power, it's something similar to triple S AoE attack that you get for free. But let's move on a little. The important thing that you need to understand is that this guy will allow everyone to self-heal on overdrive, and he can give overdrive gauge to them. With skill number 2, with 5 EP, you have this skill with 8 power, shadow and heat damage, that buffs OD gauge of everyone besides self by 25 points. Besides self is sad because this skill only gives him 16 points, so he can still take some time to get into overdrive. Depending on the fight, the enemy will attack you more often or not, and he does not have a guarantee OD point on the end of turn. It has just a chance. It's 50% and it's just 15 points. I believe that Virgil himself will get into overdrive every 3 turns or so. Depends. But he also has a free attack that is E-Power, Blunt, and Shadow, and gives him Guard Up, small, that decreases damage taken by 12%, lasts for 2 turns. It's something that you use when you don't have enough BP. And then skill number 3 that I believe it's better to save for when you have overdrive. You attack with S power, with Shadow and Heat, and then after attacking, it activates Fireworks. So Fireworks gives everyone's 1 BP. It's an AoE attack with C power. So because this guy gets 1 BP when he attacks already, well, he will recover at least 2 BP here, even when he's using 10. And if you use this skill on overdrive, he would then use Fireworks 3 times. He gives 3 BP to everyone. So when he's also on overdrive, every time that he attacks, he gets 1 extra BP. So that would be the command, and then the 2 chases, the extra chase if you are using skill number 3. That would be a number of, well, 4 attacks. That's right. So you get extra 4 BP, and then another 3 just from Fireworks, and another 3 by the end of a turn. So you recover everything that you spent in that turn with skill number 3. That's pretty interesting. And you are giving 3 BP to everyone, and those other characters in your party, when they attack on overdrive, they will also get BP. If they have chases, they will get as well. So if you use him together with someone like Ihachi, they kind of combo well together. Ihachi will heal, and when she attacks 3 times. The 2 chases are considered different attacks. She gets extra 3 BP. That can help. I have to say that Virgil does not really work well with Labelle, because he will be used in her place. He likes to be paired up with characters that already get overdrive gauge by the end of turn, or they self get into overdrive, like Swift, Arpina, Kihachi, and many others. Characters like Kihachi and Lian, and by extension, any character has extra chases, especially on overdrive, they will get lots of defense boosts, and even the attack boost. That is good, but it's not essential. Those defense boosts will allow people to, well, be very defensive. Sadly, the defense boost is just for the overdrive turn, and Virgil can make people go to overdrive faster, but he himself won't be so fast. But if he allows Kihachi to enter overdrive every 2 turns, she will increase her damage output, and on overdrive turns, she self-heals a lot and gets a lot of defense boosts too. Now let's talk about when you want to use Virgil. I believe he will have to replace someone of your current teams. Maybe you can drop Shirei in fights where he is just a BP battery. And in fights where you will be running Liz and Anya, maybe you can drop one of them together with Virgil. He already gives healing, and then you can decide about another character. See that he is opening a slot in your squad by offering a little bit of everything. But it will depend on the fight. Sometimes you will need the extra defense to use Anya and Liz together. Sometimes it's better to use Shirei because he gives even more BP. He works well. He is a meta character, and I believe that everything that he offers is a good kit. But he's not the best on what he does, but he just does a lot. useful unit. I believe he deserves a triple S or OP grade. I'm still not fully decided, so I want feedback here on the comment section up on this, about this. And you can see that we have just 97% intelligence. It may not be enough for most challenges, especially the recent ones. Agility is 117 and STR 106. Damage is not that great, and we have very, very terrible will. 76% is something from the past, and we will just make Fox get inflicted with ailments. We also have a 50% chance to self-cleanse from ailments. That's terrible because we even have characters that have a guarantee now. And while all allies are alive, you have 50% chance to evade. That's like Swift. By the end of a turn, if you didn't take damage, you will fill your own overdrive gauge to the max. It recovers 4 BP. That's the interesting part about Fox. But, well, on turn begins, you have a stealth stance. But stealth stance doesn't mean you'll be protected if there are AoE attacks anyway. And this lasts for 4 turns and has medium effect and will stack. But if a character is already on the back row, if the enemy focus more on single target attacks, you can evade some attacks and chance to be attacked. Then, when Overdrive Gauge is full, you grant yourself this attack boost. I believe this increases damage by... Well, this increases damage by 30%, lasts for 5 turns, it can stack. But if your Overdrive Gauge is not full, it will enter Evasion stance for just that turn. Well, that's interesting, right? Because that guarantees you will not be taking damage. And when you are on overdrive, you will chase with Wind Whistle Plus. Wind Whistle Plus. This is a triple S blunt attack that has buff break and can stun. Forget about stun, but the important thing is that it buff breaks. In some boss fights where the enemy is buff every 2 turns, this is perfect, because she will likely get into overdrive every 2 turns. But in other cases, not as much, because some bosses may need to be buff breaked every single turn, and that's why we have ScherBR. But have you seen something? We don't have damage reduction. What we have is the guarantee evasion stance, so in some turns it will not take damage, and when you don't have that, in the overdrive turn that you attack, you have a 50% chance to evade if everyone is alive. So, is that good enough? No. It will easily die if it gets hit. Especially looking on that terrible endurance and terrible will. Then we have here an AoE attack that is free, E-Power, much like a normal attack, just on all enemies. Second skill is 8 power, and then it has a chance to debuff STR, Agility, and Intelligence by 15%. But it's a chance, and the Intelligence may not be high enough. Then the third one is an 8 PP double S power attack that is fast, and when the attack lands, grants morale down medium that decreases damage from enemies by 25%, and also decreases their defense by 25% because of guard down medium. Well, morale down medium is nice and all, it's just for one target, but the guard down medium barely matters anyway. So the character here is either trying to debuff overall damage with morale down, or debuff status. And when you don't take damage, you get 4 DP extra. So, overall, you have 10 DP in 2 turns, and that's not enough to use one of each skill, unless you have people like Sheree in the party. I really don't recommend pulling for this style. It is very strange, risky, and we already got debuffers that are much better, like, well, of course, ScherBR. Yeah, we also have Summer Orlante, and even others. So this character here is just works, but it's super risky. I would say an SS Plus grade is more than enough. This banner is, well, not bad, because Virgil can work if you can place it on the party and act as your healer and also as your BP battery with some extra effects. But Merlot-Syrah is not necessary, because we got plenty of damage dealers for Slash and Lightning recently. So it's more about if you like these characters, or if you skip it, the other ones I'm talking about. The banner is not that bad, but it's just a silver award in my opinion, since although Virgil is amazing, he's not the best on what he does. He's just condensed, and he is the main prize of the banner in my opinion. And you will see power creep happen to Merlot-Syrah, and Fox is just bad. That's it. So that's my preview. What do you think about this banner? Please say here in the comment section. I will be skipping, I already decided, because I don't think those will add too much in my party, and I don't have gens as well. But this time I decided because I don't think it's worth. But again, tell me here in the comment sections your opinions, and I hope to see you soon in the next video or live stream. Goodbye.